Hello and welcome back to Transport Fever 2. My name is Pooks and today we're going to be fixing up Wellington. I know the Kiwis have built a terrible city, or maybe I have in this case, but there's a few things that need to be fixing. For one, if we look at Wellington, we've got very poor emissions here. Everyone's hating the trucks going through town. It's loud, it's noisy, they spew smoke. They're probably really old trucks. Yeah, they are. I mean, look at this guy. I've had him forever. It's not even a Mercedes. It's not even a Benz. It's just the old style truck. Look at him go. All right. So we want to fix that up. We want to make this, a nicer place for people to live, and we might have to do it via a tunnel or something. I'm not 100% sure yet. We're kind of going to work this out as we go. And the other thing is that we have a passenger transport problem. So we've got all these people lining up to go places, see other cities, etc. They're all want to go out to our transport loop up here, but it is taking a fair while for them to be able to actually get out there. So we're going to install a tram route here as well, just because trams seem to just solve capacity issues much better than buses. We'll keep the circular bus situation going as well though. We're also going to fix up what I've done here, and as you can see, all the buses do this kind of weird loop when they come in. So we're going to rotate that. We may have to demolish a few homes doing that, which is a little bit unfortunate, but you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles. They shouldn't have built their home right next to a transport situation. Finally, just to make this a little bit more ambitious, we're going to get this fuel down to Newport. I'm biting the bullet. What I'm planning to do is truck it down to this station right here, and then I'm just going to put an oil line or a fuel line between Northwich Branch and Newport Pagnell main station here. So it's just going to go back and forth. It's going to be empty on the return trip until I work out what I'm going to do there. Yeah, so I mean, there's always the option of getting things to go up here, refine it, then up to here, and then do the return route that way, or that it returns by going this direction. That's going to be the longer term sort of plan, but for the short term we're just going to set it up, get Newport Pagnell growing into a bigger city as well. That'll support our passenger transport situation on our trains, which is actually going surprisingly well wherever it is. It looked like it was at least break-even. Yeah, it's a little bit better than break-even. You can see we've got some positive dollar signals here, and if we look at the history, just fixing up the local issues on those trams in the previous episode has fixed things up. We've also got this amazing amount of steel just overflowing where it's trying to get down to our tool factory here as well. So we're probably going to improve a train or two at some point. Where is he? Where's the steel train? Is here. Yeah, so he's only carrying 60. Alright, getting a little bit old, this train as well. You can see the top is rusting off. So we'll look at that and see if we can't improve the situation. That train also doesn't make money, which I'm not too happy about. And I would love for it to be able to carry something back on the return trip. I just can't see at this point in time what it can really return. So maybe it's just going to be a loss-making train forever to support the profit-making venture of tools out to Immingham and down to Ackle. Also, the previous episode, or the stream, rather, sorry about that. We had things break up, so that was not cool. And I was talking to myself for a good 10 minutes there, which is maybe a little bit funny in hindsight, but it's a little bit frustrating as well. So, my apologies there. Now, we've got some redesigning to do. First, I don't like this dogleg that's happening here. I think we should have a much smoother way back and forth here. So we're going to demolish this. We're going to hit pause as well while I do it. no matter what, I'm always going to be demolishing something. So we're going to make this a little bit better. Now, unfortunately, there's no move tool in this game, so it's just going to be the bulldozer all the way. So we'll get rid of these. We're going to demolish some houses doing it, which is unfortunate, but oh well. We're going to go to our highway, and we're going to go for medium at least. We're going to put a tram track on it. We'll also put a bus lane, and I want to keep the ownership of this one. I want to control what's going to be going on. We'll set it to curve as well to keep the speed up. And then we're going to kind of run it out this way. In fact, we might actually make it a large one, right? Because this is going to be a main thoroughfare. And then in terms of the key link, then I don't mind if the private traffic then dog legs off this, but we'll probably make it a little bit more streamlined and just go straight ahead like this. In fact, yeah, let's do that. Let's fix all of this while we're at it. No half-assed sort of things around today. Alright, that's a bit better. So, realistically, start doing that, and then it's going to come around. Like this. We can connect it in here instead. No, I don't like that. I don't like that idea. Right. Curve it like here. And then go in like that. There we go. Now, I've never actually seen a tram on a highway, which is maybe a bit unusual that that's happening here. Yeah, we'll do that. Alright. So that's going to be a lot smoother for the traffic flow. I don't think we need to keep connecting. I don't know why there's a truck there. I think it just got shunted off because, oh well, we'll give it a connection in. Here you go, buddy. Oh, tram track. Oh well. It's fine. Now, on this one, we need to do some things too. I also want to rejig this, right? Now we've got connections here, we actually don't need this road here. I don't want to delete the train station. I'm also going to turn the sound down a little bit. It's maybe a bit loud, a tad loud. I feel like I'm shouting at people at the moment. Alright, so we're going to do that. I'll see if I can just configure this instead of deleting it, maybe. We shall see. Yeah, I reckon we might be able to do that and that. Right. Now, so our road here can go straight down. Out. What I'm going to do is just quickly configure this one. I'm going to see if I can just snitch in here, add in here, quick little thing, right? Just a little quickie, and my hope is I do this right. Maybe start getting another set of tracks here. Without messing up things too badly. Now, let's see if we can. We will... yeah, we'll need the trams on. 6 lane. Yeah, we're not gonna sneak that through, but we can sneak that through. There we go. Maybe give it a curve instead. You curve that in. Curve that in for me, buddy. Dear pal. That's looking pretty good, right? That's a definite positive. Now, on our configuration here, then we'll put our station exit here, chuck our station entrance back in. We're just gonna see if we can hook these up. Okay. just it's gonna look really weird. Is the thing. Too much slope. Maybe we'll do that. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that looks strange. And it's largely, I think, because the tram tracks are doing weird things. Because at the moment, I don't think it should recognise that there is a need for trams, though. Surely. Maybe I need to make it kind of street sort of things. Make everything kind of trammy now for me. Yeah, you got tram tracks in there now, so that's you see the little tram lines now. It's still doing like a really weird thing here. Oh, it's because it's one way, I reckon. Yeah, alright, so if I switch these to one-way things, then they're probably going to look a little bit nicer, right? Probably not, no. Maybe just a slip lane. There we are. Let's go the highway ramp, and it looks a lot, you know, smoother. It looks like that's, you know, purposeful rather than looks weird. Alright. So that's our surgery to this part done. So we've got a slightly bigger, has that got connections now? Just make sure it does have some kind of, yeah, I'm not seeing catchment here, so let's grab a cargo building. Maybe platforms. This platform here, I'll get that one in. Then if I get a cargo building, I should be able to put a decent sized one here. Alright, so this should be definitely catchment of things now. Yeah, alright. So for whatever reason, didn't want to do it there. But that's okay. Alright, so we've got catchment back. This should all just continue functioning. Nothing really has changed apart from the road connections. Now, in terms of our city here, so what I've done is put the main transport section is up here in Wellington sidings, and I've maybe made a mistake there because it's on the far side of the city to where we're actually transporting to and from. I think I initially did it because I was getting all the residents pile up around a bus station somewhere. You know what? We'll just have a longer tram route. I think I'm okay with that. So what we will do is go to roads, and we're going to go over to the street section. We're going to use the magic tool. We're going to put a tram track in and bus lanes in as well. Now the other thing I really want to do is rejig this. So if I actually had them coming in this way instead of leaving this way, and we just change the direction of it, that would actually fix my problem without having to do anything. So maybe we'll do that instead. So I'm going to do this and then this, and then I'm going to figure this one. The station entrance there, station exit there. I'm putting this in a poor position though, because it's going to cause confusion as well. Probably want my heaviest traffic to be elsewhere, really. I don't want to destroy all the passengers, but I think we're going to have to. Just vehicles in the way. Oh yeah, it's full of vehicles. That's a problem. Maybe if I just let them out, but not in. Go guys, get out. Speed it up so they can get out. Yeah, you're just going around in circles a bit. I understand the circular motion. It's very attractive to just keep going around in circles, but I need you to get out. Okay, cool. Let's destroy that. And this is just a regular place now. So what we will do is put a bus/tram stop here so that we've still got that. Still got a place for people to be picked up here. On our circular bus route. But our transport hub, we're going to place it elsewhere. Hello, autosave. So thinking about this, we want it reasonably central. I'm thinking of just kind of demolishing this little commercial district here. There is a bus route here, so we can make use of that. Yeah, alright, so we're going to go to buildings, we're going to get a bus/tram station. And let's actually think this through. So if they're coming in from this way, I want them to go in here and then come out and go around. So if we made it here, that would be alright. Alright, so the platforms will therefore be off to the right. Yep, that makes sense. We'll make it as high as a... Yeah, see, electric tram tracks. Maybe I didn't do the roads right. Oh god. Oh god, you've just been watching me make mistakes, and it's tram track electric versus... yeah. Alright, let's go fix that. We want electric trams. I was wondering why it just didn't look quite right to me. Probably people being triggered and shut. You fool! Why are you not going electric? Well, it's just an oversight. There we are. That looks a little bit more like I was expecting. Okay, so that's fixed. Now let's go back to that building and place it down. Alright. So... hey, my key mapping's changed. There has been an update, so it's probably stuffed around with my key mapping. That's a little bit annoying. So instead of the Q and E being for camera rotate, because I rotate with my mouse, I actually prefer to remap them. Where's the M&M instruction? Yeah, there we are. That. Right, it just makes, I think, for a little bit more intuitive experience because you're using WASD to move around, and then if you want to rotate, you use your middle mouse button. That works for me anyway. You can of course play however you damn well want, but it's the way that I do it. Alright, so we will have passengers coming in. Make it configure this, with that, grab passenger, yep, this, a little bit longer here, right, then we'll get our street access, the entrance will be here. Exit over here. I am destroying a few buildings here, but that's okay. This can be an out onto this maybe. Yeah, we'll do that. Alright. So that should us a better sort of situation here. Now this loop I may actually end up upgrading to a tram loop instead of a bus loop to get them over to here. We'll also need a tram depot to do this, so the tram depot can actually just go in behind the traffic flowing pretty well, so we'll do that. And then we need to upgrade some roads still. So we're going to go over to the street tool. And I've decided that this is going to be a main thoroughfare. So we definitely want to make things upgraded as much as possible. So we'll go that. Loop it around like so. That has destroyed a few things, but that's again still okay. Right, now, bus routes, I've just seriously thrown them out of whack. So we'll set this little guy, will just show the routes that are on the screen for us, which is a really handy thing. The passenger shuttle, we're going to, well, first actually we probably want to sell all these vehicles because I'm not going to need them anymore. We are going to edit that route. So we still want to go to Upper Wellington. That's fine. I'm going to get rid of this one, and then we're going to add a station here. Right, so this is going to be our tram route. I actually do want it to route along here, I think, rather than do a left-hand turn. So we will get a waypoint. Just drop it here. And then we will just go add station and go find our waypoint that we just dropped in. There it is. It's very hard to see. And that gives us a fairly decent loop here. Now that we've got that in place, we're going to grab a tram or two for it. We want the one that's going to go as fast as possible. We start up with 2 for the time being. Probably not all that necessary to grab that many. It's a Wellington passenger shuttle that we'll put that on, and that'll start going between here and our train station, our new station up here, and it should be a lot more efficient than buses. Now in the meantime, the other line that we had was the Wellington Public Loop, which no longer has a Wellington, or doesn't have Wellington sidings on it. So we're actually just going to add that after Alexander Station to go there. Oh, actually no, it does. That's fantastic. Alright, so that's just going to do a little bit of a loop here and pick up people to get from Wellington sidings to Victoria Street. Now if it ends up being too much for buses, then we're actually going to upgrade that to a tram loop instead. I suspect it might be. We also have a problem with this one apparently. We cannot connect all stations, really? With, hang on. I have a problem just up here. Maybe squinting at the screen. I've got a bit of glare here. Hang on. Pause for 2 seconds. You'll just see a snap. And snap back while I just lower the windows. It was a little bit glary on the screen. I couldn't really see what it was doing. It's a lovely sunny day where I am today. Alright, so our problem is this can't do the loop. For whatever reason, it can get in there and then it's having trouble getting back out. Just gotta find where we maybe don't have electric tram lines. Line. our street selector. I believe it was one of these, yep. That's green all the way to the, yeah. Might be this little section here, maybe. No. It'll look okay. Alright, then this one. Got electric as well. Might just do the end here, see if that fixes it. Maybe do this part, see if it fixes it. Highway ramp. Those, alright. Let's go over to the street selector. I think it's a large street that we had. Warnings. Alright, that seems to have fixed it. Okay. So we should be able to watch our trams come out now. They're headed off to the station. Well, one's headed off to the station, the other one's gone off to Wellington Halt. And I'm just wondering, yeah, all these people are still wanting to get somewhere. They're crowding for the bus. They're gonna go over to our bus loop. It's going to be chaos and madness at the bus loop. Alright, so while in between episodes of this, there has been an update to Transport Fever 2 as well. So I figure I'll talk through this while we just wait for those passengers to be able to make their way to the various places that they need to be. Oh, hang on. Hang on. We gotta hold up here. That's not good. Very not good. These traffic lights. Yes, we have a problem with traffic here. Alright, yeah, we're gonna do that, and we'll fix this some other way. I wanted to talk through the update, I really did, but I think I need to right-hand turn, so I should just go like that. I care less about private traffic than I do my own, so actually just get you to be a bit of a large country road. Don't want tram tracks in this case. We'll keep bus lanes because that might end up being useful. And you're going to go up, right? We're going to make a bit of a raised sort of situation here. And then from here, we'll drag it across. I want you to be, no, not level. That either. Change it to type bridge. This feels like a... Oh no, we can't already put that in. There we are, that'll divert the traffic away. And that should put our dudes out. Please? Really, man? You're holding up the line here. I'm gonna tell you to reverse. Alright, hang on. Things have clearly gone awry. Actually, I don't care too much about that road. What is it? It's... Oh, eventually it will be... I want to be there. Instead, you can just kind of curve around and not be an intersection. No, you need to be electric tracks actually. Can't make things happen. Yeah. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see. The trucks have been released. Release the trucks and the Kraken. Alright, so while those are now just catching up on what they need to do, let's talk through the update. There are a few things that came in on the update. The biggest one that I could see that I'm excited about is the ability to configure these lines here to say, okay, have a preference if your station is occupied. So with particularly with your trains here. So let's say we've got two lines here, right, on this particular platform, and so the platform might actually be occupied when our train comes in. So this red one might, you know, the red train might have occupied this particular platform, but the other station, sorry, might be free for steel, right? So there should be now controls, I believe, that will allow us to say, hey, if one platform is occupied, use the other. So I'm just gonna try and work out. Yeah. So there's our default. If this one's busy, use the other one. So we can apply that there, and then we can also, I don't know if people can hear that, but that's my phone going off. Stop sending me messages. So we also want to configure this one, so that on the default Pagnal line, then it can also use platform 1 if platform 2 is occupied. So that, I think, to me, that mirrors how train stations actually work. In that, if you've ever been at a train station during a busy period, then you see all you're trying to get on one train and they say, oh, okay, it's been moved to this platform, so you hurry across, and it's been moved again, and you hurry across because it's chaos, and one delayed train can mean that things get moved around to make sure that you're fully utilizing your platforms and that you're getting people through and to their homes, etc. So that's a thing, and sorry, just need to stop the phone buzzing there. No, I won't take that out in the editing. You're just gonna have to deal with me complaining. So that's the thing that I think makes the controller platforms a lot smoother and makes a lot more sense. So I'm kind of happy about that. I'm kind of excited by it because it means you don't need to have huge stations and you can actually make good use of the available platforms that you have. Okay, so that's our bit of a redesign for Wellington. We still have this station here taking up a fair bit of space, but fair bit of space. Fair number of passengers want to jump onto it. But it seems that our buses are keeping up with, from what I can tell. It's slowly decreasing, and we don't have an overrun here as well. That's the main thing. If we had passengers that were overflowing here, then that would have been a good indication of a really bad problem. Now, it's probably going to as well, don't get me wrong. As these things grow, then we're going to continue to have a problem. And if we have a look at these guys, they're all going to Victoria Street, which is this little place here, because they all want to hop onto this one. And then as our trams arrive, then we've got people here. Now we've got 100 people waiting here as well to go, and we've got 136. So that to me sounds like we actually do want to continue to bump up the number of trams available. So I'm just gonna clone, damn you. There we go. Oh no, too much cloning. That's right. What was it? Autosave. All right, five seems it's probably excessive, but we'll just see how it goes, right? I'm just gonna watch it. Now you would have noticed as well, and maybe a few people are going, why is he doing that? In that I have multiple passenger sort of things here. Like, okay, we're just taking them out here. Why are we got 3 sort of things? The reason for that is because I may have a passenger line, right, that goes down to Wellington, and I'm not going to utilize that station. There's going to be a station probably out here or something to make that make sense. So we're going to have multiple trams coming in here and multiple trams coming out. And what will probably happen is that we have another entrance and another exit way to allow for that to happen. So there'll be some further surgery required on this, and we'll probably have to, knock down buildings and all that sort of thing. But it gets us to a pretty good position. Tools is what Wellington wants now. See, we're improving Wellington now. We've made the emissions a little bit better, just by 10%. Solely from improving that situation there. We've also improved our destination with all the public transport situation here as well. So we've done some good things just by fixing up the flow of vehicles. Now, the next thing here is that we have this fuel being trucked in, right? Which is a good thing. We want fuel to be trucked in. Trucking fuel is good. But the problem with that fuel line is they drive through a residential district, and it's those residents really don't like emissions. So if we flick to our emissions layer here, you can see the emissions are really high, and because of the high emissions, that's where we get that negative, and we get a lower growth rate because of it. So we get a good deal of emissions just from these trucks because they're old, they're tired. They're, you can see they're in very bad condition, and so they give a 70+7 because of the bad condition emission rating. So we want to swap them out for better trucks for a start. We also want to change how they actually get here as well. So the residential seems to be going out this way, which is really poor choice of the residents, let me just say. But it's our problem to deal with this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with a medium country road. We'll get rid of the tram tracks, we don't need that. We also don't need a bus lane. I'm going to keep ownership of things as well. And what we're going to do is design a new road for our trucks, and we're also going to upgrade the trucks that we've got. Now at the moment they're going via this sort of route because originally it was not residential, it was actually a highway that we built there. But of course the residents have grown out, and so what we want to do is put some new routing on this line basically. So first we're going to check out the line itself. It's the Wellington fuel run. It's going down here. Ultimately, they're going to King Street. King Street is the destination. So instead, what we could have them going is down this street here. to bypass this entirely. So to do this, we're going to snip off from here, and I'm just going to pause the game again while we do it. I'm going to get rid of these lines here just entirely. That's no longer necessary. Then we're going to grab our medium country road. Connect, damn you. There we are. I'm going to curve it out this way. Now I'm going to tell it so it stays as ownership for me, right? Might actually curve it this way instead. And then it can connect in there. Alright. So now, instead, it's doing all these funny things because I've given it waypoints. So we'll get rid of those waypoints for a start. And it's just going to go straight in, turn around, and come back out. So that's actually not too bad. I was expecting to have to do a little bit more. It should bypass most of our residential zone and therefore decrease the emissions that we get from that residential zone. Also, because I've built it as a highway and I've retained ownership, it should mean, operative word is should here, it should mean that we don't actually have anyone build anything against it. Pretty sure that's how it works. The other thing is I want to make this a little bit smoother, right, and go straight from here to here, because there just doesn't seem to be the point in doing that area. Keep it curvy. Yeah, that seems reasonable. And then we also still need the connection to the depot, so we'll do that. Also, upgrading those roads is a positive thing, and because it increases the maximum speed that we can have on them. And we want to also upgrade this little guy here, but it doesn't want to do it. Maybe we'll call it a highway ramp. There we are. Might as well. It's one way anyway. Okay, now the final thing is the trucks on this line are just horrendous. They're old, they are Benzes. Okay, I didn't think they were. So we're going to replace them out. And we're going to replace them out because they're tanking fuel, right? We can give them as the fuel tag truck ones instead of the normal ones. And that gives us a little bit more capacity. So even what we can do actually is just reduce the number of vehicles here, and that should reduce our emissions as well. So we'll do this number, we'll replace these ones with these. That's a couple mil to do it. And then we'll just deselect, and then we'll grab all our Benzes, our old dirty Benzes, and we'll dispose of those. So we now have a lot less traffic, but it's better trucks, right? So we should see that improves our emissions rating a fair bit. So let's go back to our layer, emissions layer. We're at fast speed at the moment, so we should see this clean up and an update on our maps. The other thing that we should probably look to do is where we've got this food being transported back and forth is fix that up too. So on the lines where we've got those things happening, I believe it's the Wellington food line. Let's go look at those vehicles. They're all in very bad condition as well. So what we'll do is sell a couple of them. So we're going to do some upgrades and then grab these ones, replace them with the Opel tarpaulin trucks. Now we can't do one of these because it's carrying food, so it needs this sort of type of vehicle. Right, so that's going to improve our emissions on those lines a fair bit as well. And then finally we've got the Wellington machines, which is in a very sort of similar situation, so we'll just swap those out straight with the Opels. Now we also have the Wellington public loop here. So we'll select those, and you can see all the buses are in bad condition. So we want to fix those up as well, and we'll replace those. Let's have a look. What have we got at the moment? We've got Gaggenau's, which will do 40 kilometers an hour, capacity of 8. fairly decent emissions though. I think we do want something with a little bit better loading speed, but the top speed is not going to be as important, I don't think, because going through windy roads are not actually going to get up to speed anyway. So we'll go with a slightly higher capacity instead and replace those out. And they're very good nick now. So again, we've made another improvement to our emissions here. Now it doesn't actually specify what emissions are either. Emissions, I'm assuming, are a mix of noise and pollution. Because, you know, you don't want a noisy kind of bus going around or a noisy tram if you can possibly avoid it. And you don't want a noisy truck, definitely, driving through your residential district. So I'm hoping with all these changes, we should see a significant drop in emissions. And it looks like it does take a little bit of time for that to occur. The other thing I'm going to do is just get back to quarter speed on our dating in this episode, which we dropped back when we had a few improvements in the last episode in terms of the vehicles that we could purchase. But that does look to be a fairly, hello autosave, a fairly good improvement on our emissions straight away there. Now the main thing is that we want to make sure that we're still actually filling up on fuel here. But it looks like our supply has not been really impacted by that. So that's good. It does look like we're still going to have fairly high emissions just from those bus routes. Not necessarily the greatest, because these are, you know, residential buildings in here. I really want to reduce those emissions, so we've got another 10% out of it. That's not too bad. I'm pretty happy with it. And Wellington is a much healthier place to live now. So yeah, we'll never get it to zero. Emissions are just a byproduct. You'll never get it. Too bad. The biggest thing is that you replace your vehicles where possible, and you route as little as possible through residential districts, and that will end up being a pretty good situation for you. Now we also have all these passengers waiting, so that's kind of cool that that's starting to happen. Now you can also see here we've got a little bit of a stack up of train, which is not a good situation either, and if we're unlucky we'll get another train kind of creeping up behind him. That's the next one, I think, actually, not too bad. But if at all possible, we don't want a delay here, right? We want our trains to be running all the time. So what we're going to do is add into this one here, we'll go to rails. We will have catenary switched on. I'm just looking where this needs to go, right? Back on the right hand side here, and that won't do it. Our current switch is here. Yeah, so if it's just hooked in somewhere else along this line, we get that. Might be able to get that happening. We'll see. Not possible. Maybe delete that off. Really doesn't want to do it, right? That's our ideal here. It just kind of branches off. So that's all passenger lines now though, so do we need that branch? Probably not, just stick it on, so snip it off a little bit later instead. Do that and that. Grab our tracks again. The other thing I've got to think of though is signaling. Do this instead. So go like that. Too far. That. And like that. There we go. Alright, so we then grab our signals. So you're going to be in and out. Our other signals in and out. I think we're good now. Alright. So what I'm going to do is on our Wellington food here in Wellington Central, I'm going to say you can use platform 1 if platform 2 is not available. Oh, whoops. That's the, no, don't do that. That's the truck route. Oops, we want this one. Alright. That would make it, yeah, okay. That's a bit better. Alright, so, I wondered why there was a waypoint before that. So we're gonna say, I just feel like I just pressed something. Yeah, Wellington South. That's platform 1 here now. Say you can use that. Could not connect alternative terminals. So why is that the case, sir? So you should be able to go out like that. Back in like that. Saying it's having a hard time getting back, getting in. We have mucked up the signaling here. That's right. try this. Wellington South, branch to 1. Still can't. What about the meat dudes? Will you do it? It's just not connected. No tracks. Itinerary on it, yep. Like so. You know what? Let's just make this possibly simpler. Do that. I say simpler. By simple I mean probably more complex, but it might get us to where we need to be. So that we start splitting off here instead. Okay. Run things along. Here. Switch in. Okay, so we can turn off auto signal. Let's do that. And that. Okay, so now if I tell you to go to 1, terminal 1, not reachable from previous. Absolutely it should be. Alright, let's just see if it's a bug or not. This is turning into an exploratory video. So if we go Wellington South to here, right? To Immingham. That creates a perfectly good line. Like, okay, fine and dandy. It's all good with that. Pathable, right? Oh, I know. It's probably based on the decision tree. I've moved signals too far up as to when to choose things. Alright, let's pause this and just think it through. Going on here. I'm gonna do it. Bye, George, we're gonna do it. Oh, perfect. Looks like a mess, but it isn't, trust me. Alright, so let's go to our signals again. You're one way. Move it up so it's a little bit closer. Here. Here. Alright, so now when I go to do it, and we go to here, choose an alternative path, Wellington, it'll do it. The reason being, before I had my signals too far up, or so the point where it needs to make a decision as to which platform to go to, it could have been up here, and therefore it can't really reverse and then choose another track. So that's the reason why I was having some difficulties. And then the path out was fine. Okay, so we're going to do that with that, and we're also going to do it with this one to say that the alternative track is platform 1 as well. Now, hopefully my trains aren't too long, because that could be my other problem here, right? Actually, no, that'll be fine. It'll be any future track that I add here that'll cause me problems. Okay, great. So if I put this back to play, we should be okay, and that should improve the flow somewhat for those trains. Now the other thing I did notice was that we had starting to get a bit of an overload of meat here as well. So I'm just going to do a very, very quick extension of this platform, which won't really solve the issue, because the issue is that I need new trains here, so that'll be a bit. We'll do one thing at a time here. The next thing that I promised you in this episode, and we're hitting the hour mark here, but that's alright, is that we're going to start to get fuel down to Newport Pagnell. So this is going to be a relatively simple one, so bear with me as we set this up. We're going to go straight to buildings. We're going to go to a truck station here. We're not going to need that many platforms, because ultimately all this fuel is going to go down here anyway, so we're not going to be doing any kind of weird thing. We may end up actually trucking oil in. It's the only thing I can think of, right? Because if I have a train coming back, grab oil on the way, it'll probably dump it here. Yeah. Alright, so we'll go 2 platforms just to be safe. Now we want to move this around like that. It should be coming in from this direction, so that would be good. It'll be within catchment, so we're good there as well. I'll drop it there. Go to configure this one, get rid of that part and put a station entrance, and then we'll put a we don't want a station exit just yet actually. Lay up the platforms here so it's got plenty of storage space. And then we'll go to street access and get an exit here, which will connect in straight away. Now the only other thing here is we're gonna just kind of edit this little bit here. We actually don't need a connection from the town to the refinery, so I'm gonna just get rid of that entirely. Then we're gonna go to our trucks. We're gonna get the highway ramp, will work fine I think, and make it a one-way entrance in there. So they're gonna come down here, off into the station, and then back around. Here's gonna be the flow. Now we'll need to truck it down here as well, so we're going to create a new line from here to here. Now it is going to go off to the second platform at North Control, or platform 1 really. Badly lined. Pink, why not pink trucks? Pink fuel trucks. So T for truck. Northwich fuel shuffle. Now we will configure it so that lower Northwich, all you're going to do is load fuel and unload oil at some point. You might want to do, where are you there? Over here, you can unload fuel and you can load oil, and that's all you can do. Alright, so that part is done. We do have a road depot, that's good. Now the next thing that we're going to want is another line from here, the branch down to Port Pagnell. I'm actually happy with that color as well, surprisingly enough. It can do this one, and then as an alternative branch, see what we're doing? It can use the other platform as well, because I really don't mind. This is going to be rail fuel to Newport Pagnell. And then finally we're going to need a drop-off location for this, so let's just check the industry. Right. Just a little trucking location here. Actually has everything in catchment, but I might do a second one because I feel like it's going to expand out here. So we'll grab our truck unload stop, unload about here, and we'll just do a very short line from here to here. Truck, Newport, fuel, shuffle. And then on our pink one, what I want to do is just configure that. So when it goes to load, it can load only the things it's meant to be doing. So just that. And then on the Newport fuel shuffle, it can just do fuel, right? And unload anything. Maybe not necessary, but we're going to do it just in case. Another thing that's kind of cool. How these lined up, that's almost perfect. The other thing that we're probably going to need to do here is expand out the logistics to go down this way, because when a train drops off stuff, it's probably going to start overflowing if I'm not careful. But that's a future Pooks problem, not a today Pooks problem. Right, so first thing that we're going to do is let's set up trucks down here. Hit pause. We're going to buy some vehicles from this depot here. We go for cargo, and we're going to do the Opel Blitz tank trucks. 10 of those should be more than sufficient, so let's go find our pink line. Fuel shuffle it is. And off they go. Now the next thing is that we're going to need a train, so we'll go to the Newport Pagnell train depot. Oh, hang on, we've got new things. That's shiny. What is this? It's a is that a passenger thing? No. How does this come in? An express train car, but it's not showing up in the passenger lines here. Yeah, okay, so this is one of the first multiple unit trains that we can get, the Rotofil. So you can see multiple unit electric, and you can basically just stack these up. So it's both the cargo carrying, in this case passengers, as well as the actual train engine itself. So it's kind of a guaranteed top speed 125, meaning that you just stack these up to make your train. as opposed to getting a locomotive and then stacking up wagons as well. You can see we've got fairly high top speed, so that's a max on standard rails as well, which is good to see. But what we're after, of course, is actually a cargo train. Now, I'd love to make it electric, but I know that it's not fully electrified lines at the moment, and I'm really holding out for diesels. I can't actually remember when we first get our first diesel train. So we're actually going to go with the steam trains, and what I'm thinking is either an A35 or a bad Vic. And what I'm going to do before I purchase that is just check on that train that's already on that line. Already got a cargo one. That's not you. I think it's you. Yeah. See what kind of train I've run on that. It looks like a PLM. So speed-wise, they're going to compete with each other. And soon, it's only going to do a top speed of 60, right? So even if I went for bad, then it's still going to be stuck behind the PLM. So it would mean that I do need to upgrade things as well. So what's the difference? This weighs a lot more. Only got a small increase in power. Realistically, this guy here would be the better choice, I suspect. So I think I'll put it as a PLM for the time being. Hold up for diesel and do an upgrade there. Alright, so PLM it is, and then we're going to need some cargo wagons, and so the PLM has a max speed of 60, so there's no real point getting the other larger tank cars, because ultimately it's got a max speed of 80, right? So it's 10 kilometers an hour difference. The only reason we do it is if this particular wagon here was using, well, it is using the big cars, isn't it? Let's just edit that one, check it out. Yeah, using box cars, not the smaller variety. Okay, so yeah, we do want to go with those, and then just swap out the locomotive at the end. Alright, so PLM it is, and then cargo wise we'll go with a bigger tank cars. We'll go a capacity of say 108. Just want to make sure that the size of the train is going to be okay. I think we're going to be good on that, and we'll make it that grey colour. Fine, I think the grey colour, that's fine. To match the line that it's going to be on, and then we'll set that to be fuel to pack. And then finally, in this setup here, we will want on our red line here, we want some vehicles, so we'll go to the depot over here. We're probably only gonna need a couple of them at max for, it's only a really small line, like here to here, so even 4 is probably going to be overkill, so we might just go, we'll go with 2, we can always up it from there. So set you onto the new fuel shuffle, you can shuffle along, and then we're going to hit play. Now what we should see is this guy start to put some fuel here. Yeah, that's it. Let's speed it up. And you know what? I think this is a good time for a snap forward because the episode is going a little bit further. So let's see what it looks like in say about 6 months' time. Just unpausing a little bit earlier, simply because we're about to watch this level up. You can see almost immediately we're only in August. This thing's demand and production and shipment is all going through the roof. So we're about to see it slowly just tip over, and then we'll pause again. We'll snap again forward once we've seen the actual level up. Well, that was anticlimactic. I actually expected something. Yeah. Sorry folks, maybe next level, maybe. We're close to upgrading twice in a row anyway. Alright, let's snap forward in a bit. Okay, and we're back, and how are we going? Did we make it? Things happening, or are we, have we made a terrible decision? Well, as you can see with our train here, we have a full load on this brand new PLM here. That's right. We've got 108 out of 108 fuel, as you can see down bottom left. So that's absolutely fantastic. So what's this mean? In terms of finances, as you can see, on the first few years, we're losing money. What we hopefully see now is that it breaks even. I'm not actually expecting it to gain too much money from this particular route. The reason being is it's not actually carrying anything back. So it'll get paid once it gets down here, but it's not being paid to do the return trip. That's not carrying any cargo. So we actually make a little bit of a loss on that trip there. Likewise for our little opals here, they're not making money at the moment because they don't have a return trip where they're not carrying anything. Now this is likely to change once I have this sort of set up and we have another source of refined oil coming in. That will help out immensely with that sort of situation. The other thing I should note is that we have this enormous passenger demand here as well. So I'm actually thinking of doing something with this train. At the moment it's not making money, right? But what it could potentially use is a bit of an upgrade here, just a few more carriages for example, and probably replace the engine. It's probably high in emissions now as well. But either way, we've got 300 people waiting and a train coming in with only a capacity of 126. So let's do a quick switcheroo. I know this is not what we were talking about before in fuel, but these are the sort of things that you see and you really want to just take care of straight away, if at all possible. Now, the locomotive that it's got, I believe, is an A3, right? So it's going to do 100 kilometers an hour. And then the passenger wagons that it's got is the Donauwörth. If I've murdered the name of that, I apologize to everyone who's a bit of a purist about these things. And looking at it here, I'm thinking, well, can we replace this at all with a slightly faster train for a start, but also slightly higher capacity, right? So we've got these ones, and we do have trains that will do 120 kilometers per hour. So, Flying Scotsman, here we go. We're going to switch this from being an edit to replacement. I'm going to put in a Flying Scotsman here, which is a very expensive train, and I'm really hoping that this investment pays off. I'm going to put in the BC4s as the wagons. Actually, I wanted to colour it. Yeah, we'll do the colouring. Can't not do the colouring. Alright, it's going to be red. The red Scotsman. Passengers, and then add these in. Keep an eye on the length of this as well. I don't know what the original one was. 160 meters. I feel like 220 meters. Can we get, I think 240 might. Alright, so this will give me a carrying capacity of 200 people instead. It's going to be a $20 million train. Alright, so that's a lot longer. Let's see if it fits. This could be awkward. It's coming in. Can you do it, buddy? Not quite. But it will do its loading, unloading from the looks of things. It's happy enough to do it. Right. that at some point. But this guy should be able to get up to its full potential, right? Look at it racing the train, pulling ahead, saying, nah, I'm the new guy in town. It's getting up to 84 kilometers an hour. Can we get our 120? It's taking a little bit of time to get up to that 120 as well, so I've probably got the maximum number of characters we really want to put on this thing. Why is it slowing down? Why slowing down from the corner? Is that a thing? It shouldn't be a thing. No crossovers there, is there? Yep. It's just a straight up corner. I might investigate that. Have an average speed of below 120 then. No point putting in a flying Scotsman. Comes in for land. Length of the station. Yeah, so this is a good station setup. The Wellington was maybe a bit cheap when I first set it up. It's going to carry 139 passengers back, so not as many as I would have hoped on the return trip here. But we do have nearly 200 waiting at the other end, so hopefully that'll be a reasonable upgrade. But in the meantime, fuel. So we're breaking even. That's about where I expected it to be. On our trucks here, we're making a little bit of money now. So we've got some fuel starting to pile up, only a little bit here. In the meantime, this has gone up a level, but not doing another one. And again, it's constrained on the shipment. It is transporting everything away. So we've got 100% transport, but we're just not. We don't have enough end demand at this point. Which probably means that Newport Pagnell is, it's pretty close to being fulfilled here. It is getting some zen, high fulfillment ratios. Now we'll just see what happens with the oil that we drop off as well. Doesn't look like it's spilling over. So they're only 18. You just transport 18 oil. Fuel, I mean. I know. That's in direct catchment for a lot of things that need oil, so it's just going straight from the train station into the industrial buildings. Well, that's useful. And then this little guy is just servicing all the ones that are just not quite out of the zone. Okay, that's pretty cool. Alright, so we have done some things here. I think we've fixed up Wellington's transport situation, where our passengers are now able to get to and from pretty fast. We've just put in a new train here that's going at the speed of light here. In fact, it's making some money now. If it gets full loads of passengers back from Wellington all the time, that's actually gonna bring us a few dollars. And of course, those passengers are either going into Newport. We're going to need trams in Newport soon. We've got that same sort of problem here in that just the buses can't keep up. Granted, I don't think I've got too many buses in here. But then some of those will also be transferring on to go to different places. So we've got Immingham passengers starting to pile up as well. Not so much on Ackle. Ackle seems to be pretty well serviced actually, which is fantastic. And I'm guessing a few people will still be taking their own private transport on these very shoddy roads that they've got going on here. Yeah, look at them. They're all lined up, cruising along in little buggies, going through the fields, checking out the boulders. Nice boulder. But that's all we have time for in this episode. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Spooks. If you did enjoy this episode, then give me a thumbs up, give me one of those lucky likies. Helps me out beyond belief. You can subscribe if you want to see more, of course, and you can not subscribe if you don't want to see any more. And in the next episode, the next episode would actually be a stream on Tuesday night. We'll hopefully not have the same issues that we had the previous Tuesday. And I will see you there. Thanks again for watching.